What's going on, everybody? It's your main bro, Michael, back with another video for Bro MMA. Again, if I can figure it out, I'm going to leave you guys the link in the description for my previous videos where we talked about the other fight and we talked about Omari Akhedov. Now, it's going to be the video that, we talk a lot more about people that a lot of people have heard of and just give my perception of what I see when I see the fight. Chris Weidman, everyone knows him. They've been knowing him for a long time. To be honest, it was quite refreshing to see that he's only been on like 19, I think, pro fights. I think he's 14-5, I want to say, which is something that really threw me off because, I feel like Chris Weidman's been around for a long time. And to me, just seeing 19 fights kind of threw me off because you have people like, even like Nate Diaz, who people say is not active, has had a lot more fights than him. And so again, in this video, what we're going to talk about is I'm going to talk about Chris Weidman, the 3 advantages I think he really has over Omari, and then the way he should implement them so that way he can guarantee like a higher success rate for himself. Again, this is my personal take. If you guys in the comment section, when you guys see this, if you guys want to say something differently, you guys can. I have no problem with that. Hope I can respond to a few people and we can actually get like a little conversation going about this fight card, because I think there are 3 good fights at the end of this card. I haven't really looked over the full card, but I think the 3 final ones are going to be pretty good. Again, this is going to be the co-main event of the evening. Alright, so let's get into it and let's talk more about Chris Weidman and his exceptional skills. So as we all know, Chris Weidman is a very accomplished wrestler. He's a collegiate wrestler. He's got a very good gym behind him. He's at Matt Serra, and I can't remember the other guy's name, Ray Longo. So there's Ray Longo, Matt Serra are his 2 coaches that you see in the cage with him a lot. Chris Weidman, as we all know, is a very polished fighter. His wrestling is really great. And his first key advantage I think he's going to have that's really going to be dictative of how I think he's going to fight this fight is going to be he's very polished with his striking. When I saw him versus Jacare, his movements were really good. He's got good footwork, good head movement. He's got good striking. What I mean by this is he's keeping everything in the pocket. Like he's able to score off without using much energy like you see people doing these whooping massive hooks do. So I think it's really imperative to him that he can see the fact that he's going to be the very clinical striker in this one. And he should really feed into that. And the thing of it is, when you feed into that, what it's going to do is it's going to make Omari really have to dig deep and figure out what he wants to do when it comes to this fight. And then it gets Chris Weidman to tell what's really going to happen. Because the clinical strikes by far are going to fade Chris Weidman. I think everybody can agree with that. He's very polished when it comes to stand-up. I would say, I was going to say a little bit higher in the middleweight division when it comes to striking. But I think the middleweight, it does have some good strikers out there like Darren Till. Of course, the champ, Mr. I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time, Israel Adesanya. So, I mean, you see all these things start playing into an effect, and what happens is the fact that, when it comes to the striking, Weidman's very, very clinical in striking. It's very thought out, very planned out striking. He's not going to try to waste energy. He's really just going to try to score, hit you with some heavy straights, some jabs. Very clinical when it comes to, compared to most people you see, especially in the MMA world, when it comes to their fist striking. So the next biggest advantage he's going to have is going to be the gas tank. Weidman's one of those people, other than Luke Rockhold, I've really never seen him get that tired. And Luke Rockhold and Chris Weidman was a different kind of fight. It was one where they were exchanging grappling exchanges, clinch exchanges. And then the fight was really taking all over the place, which is something great for somebody like me. I like seeing people that are this divulged, but when it came to it, when you're burning that much energy constantly, somebody's going to give. I know Luke Rockhold has said he took some kind of medication, I believe, for a staph infection, and it depleted his energy, so that's why he fell at the end too. So I mean, it was literally just 2 warriors battling it out. But other than that, I've never really seen Chris Weidman get extremely tired. Omari, unless something's changed, now again, there could have been something he's fixing in the camp that's going to change this, but as far as I know, Omari's energy tank is not that good. It's going to run out with, I would say, close to the end of the second. Definitely by the 3rd round, he's going to have not much left in that tank. Chris Weidman, I think, is really going to be able to impose his will when it comes to this and try to get Omari to expend that energy. And what I mean by that is he just is going to try to, I would feed into the madness but keep it controlled. And what I mean by this is I'm going to strike, make him engage me constantly, so that way I'm getting some of these punches out and I'm able to control my own distance. I'm not really having to worry about how long he's going to last. I'm just waiting for that breaking point, and then once the breaking point comes, I can really start doing more damage and really increasing the volume I'm with. Yeah, I think we've seen, especially with people that are going to be there in the third round, it makes the fight really, really hard. Ian Heinisch, which is the guy that Omari fought, I believe, before this fight, was the guy that was there in the third round and really just dug deep and was like, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Now, Omari did end up getting the win, but the third round was very telling of what I've seen in his fights, that is Omari's. It's like he gets tired. He wears himself out completely before the third round enters. Now, if he finished the fight before then, I mean, of course, he's got nothing to worry about. But if this fight goes to the third round, or if he ends up like really taking off from this point and really starting beating some of the top 10 fighters, if he's actually getting a main event, now he's got to do 5 rounds. It's really hard for a person who's having trouble with 3 rounds to be able to adapt to 10 more minutes and actually be able to win fights. Because now he's just got to win 2 rounds. If he switches to a main event status, he'd have to win 3. So gas tank's going to be a really important thing that I think Chris Weidman knows he's going to have to really, really use heavily. The third thing is again, this is what I was talking about, kind of like with the other video. In fact, I feel like there's 2 different advantages they have in the grappling. I feel like Weidman, as everyone knows, is a very polished open wrestling. And what I mean by this is open wrestling when you're talking about the UFC is nothing's protruding you from being able to get the takedown. To be able to do it more like in actual like takedowns, like single legs, those kind of things. He's really polished. He really has a great single leg where he kind of just snaps the leg out and he's already in there before you can really react, and it's really hard to defend because he gets so far in those hips. Once he just snaps that leg, it's just pretty much like it's over from there. You can't really do much. So I think the open wrestling really favors Chris Weidman. Again, I was talking about before, I think Omari has more tools when it comes to the cage grappling, which is when both fighters are up against the cage. I think Omari does have a little bit of advantage there. Weidman, as I've seen, like when I watch his fights, he doesn't use the cage. He wants to pull you off that cage to get this takedown. Anytime he does anything is to get you to react so we can pull you off that cage and get the takedown. It's something that's very different compared to what Omari does. Omari is going to do a lot more of pressing you up against the cage, making sure he can get his hands grasped right around the butt, right below the butt, to be able to help out and make sure he can secure a takedown. Or Weidman's not really trying to do that. He's trying to use the cage to set up an actual field where he feels like he has the opportune moment to be able to come in there and snatch it. Now, when it comes to this fight as a whole, I'm really interested because I've seen people with Omari style, which is going to be more like a Jacare Souza, but they don't have that gas tank. But it's something similar to what Omari is going to be able to do. I'm really interested to see this fight just to see if Chris Weidman can get back on board, how he's going to look like. What he's going to look like back at 185. Is this chin going to be able to hold up if he gets tagged? I think it's a really interesting fight. Again, if I'm missing anything in the comment section, don't be afraid to say something. Or if you think there's something that Chris Weidman has a very steep advantage of that I didn't talk about. One big one that I know I missed was the fact that Chris Weidman is not going to get razzled by the stage, but the reason why I didn't mention that is because there's going to be no fans. No fans kind of really diminish the value of being the person who's used to being in a pressure situation. But again, anything you guys want to talk about, don't be afraid to leave a comment. I'll make sure I get around to many as I can, which will probably be all of them. But yeah, make sure you guys just leave a comment so that way we can see what we're doing. Again, if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. My name is Michael. I'm the main bro here at MMA Bro. Please like and subscribe, and please leave a comment. Peace!